Extremely powerful and extremely small too. At least that's what DeWalt claims. We'll check it out in just a moment. I'm Tim Johnson. You're watching Shop Tool Reviews. For the past several months, we've had lots of comments on our YouTube channel saying, we want to see the DCF901. That's what we have right here. This is the DeWalt DCF901, and it's their XTREME, XTREME, their XTREME 12-volt, half-inch brushless impact wrench. So yeah, half-inch anvil, hog ring style anvil, and brushless motor, the DCF901. Little small 12-volt tool, but it's part of their XTREME series. There's some pretty cool features on both the tool and the battery that we're going to talk about. Then we're going to take it over to the test bench and see how well it does. We'll come back and talk about it, talk about price and warranty. Let's jump right in. Yes, you see it right before you. This is the DeWalt DCF901. This is a half-inch drive 12-volt impact wrench. Check. Let me change that. This is the XTREME 12-volt impact wrench. So this little beast is really supposed to pack a lot of punch. I've got the kit, which is the DCF901 GJ1G1. So if you remember that, I should have that on the screen. But anyway, what it comes with the tool, the impact wrench, a charger, which is your 12-volt and 20-volt chargers. Specifically, it's the DCB112. And you get a 3 amp hour battery, as you see on the tool right here, and a 5 amp hour battery as well. So really nice kit to be able to give you both those. So the 3 amp hour is going to give you a little more compactness. Obviously, you can see a little bit shorter of a tool, and this tool is a little bit, or this battery is a little bit thicker as well. We'll show the differences here in one moment. So back to the tool, we're looking at 250 foot-pounds of max tightening torque is what they're claiming. They don't specify whether with a 3 amp hour or 5 amp hour. I'm assuming with the 5 amp hour. And breakaway on this, which this is a little guy. Remember, this is a 12-volt tool, or excuse me, an XTREME 12-volt tool. And by the way, if I didn't mention it, it is a brushless tool as well. Anyway, on the breakaway side, 400 foot-pounds. So big numbers from this little impact wrench powered by a 12-volt battery. So we're actually going to try this out and see if we can't either hit those numbers, exceed those numbers, or maybe even fall short. But we will see for sure. Now, let's get some measurements on this tool. As far as height with the 3 amp hour battery, you're just short of 9 inches tall. And when you look at kind of what I would call tip to tail, it looks like 5 1/4 inches, 5.262 inches. So right at 5 1/4. And then width on the tool, widest point, right at 2.5 inches. So 2.42 inches as far as width on the tool. Yeah, 2.47 inches up here. Or we'll just call it 2.5. How's that? So about 2.5 inches wide or thick, if you will, and as I mentioned, about 9 inches tall. Now, when you change out to the 5 amp hour battery, obviously you're going to increase that height. So instead of the 9 inches, you're almost 10 inches. So 9 3/4 inches is where we're at on the height there. So you are going to gain about 1 inch when you go to this larger battery, but could be well worth your while. Now, let me touch on these batteries here for a moment. I noticed this. Let me grab this other battery over here. So this is a 5 amp hour battery where we just reviewed the little small 5 3/8 inch circular saw, which by the way, if you didn't see that XTREME tool, then we'll have the link on the screen as well for you to check that out. Really great saw, little saw, 12 volt, but runs really good. Anyway, there is a difference between this 5 amp hour battery and the 5 amp hour that comes in the XTREME Impact. So you can look at it right away and see maybe there's a little more black in this battery. Well, that is the case, but it's not just that. So on this battery here, number one, it's claimed to be oil resistant. And also this has got kind of a rubber base to it. So rather than plastic hitting, like here, it's got more of does have a rubber base to it. Now we used to see this, but only in the Mac tools, which Mac is a subsidiary or a a company to the parent Stanley Black & Decker, which so is DeWalt. But anyway, so we used to see this, but we would only see it in the Mac power tools. So I'm glad to see that we're starting to see that now come with the impact tools like this DCF901. So again, we get it on the 3 amp hour as well as on the 5 amp hour battery, and it's that little rubber base there where you do not see on a tool like I mentioned for the that came with the saw, a little circ saw. Okay, let's get some weights on this as well. So we're looking at pounds and ounces, or let's actually, there we go, pounds and ounces. With the 5 amp hour battery, 3 pounds, 3.5 ounces. So just over 3 pounds with that 5 amp hour. And with the 3 amp hour battery, we're at less than 3 pounds. So a sub 3 pound impact wrench, 2 pounds, 13 ounces. So that's just over 2 3/4 pounds. It's a very light tool. I believe you can get this tool in a 3/8 drive as well, but this is the 1/2 inch. And it is a split ring anvil or a hog ring anvil or a friction ring anvil. However you want to call that, that's what this is. I love the LEDs on this. You get the 3 LEDs that are surrounding the anvil. A lot of tool companies that are going to this, and it makes total sense because now you're shining that light directly on your work area versus coming from down here where a lot of times your hand would cover it, or also down here where a lot of times your hand would cover it, and it's just kind of guesstimating where it's shining that light. So now we get that light right there on that fastener area. Let me point something out before we take this over to testing. One thing I really love about this tool, the feature that really stands out to me is not a feature whatsoever, and that is there are no buttons on this tool. There are no modes. There is forward and reverse. That is all you have. So you want to go tighten, it's forward. You want to loosen, it's this way. And that's all you need to know other than the variable speed trigger here. So yes, we have a variable speed trigger with the brushless motor. So I can barely make that anvil turn, and I can go all the way up to its max 2,850 RPM. So 0 to 2,850 RPMs and 0 to 3,250 impacts per minute. But no other modes on this gun, no auto removal, no bolt removal, no 1, 2, 3. It is what it is. Grab that trigger and go. Okay, like normal, we are going to start out in tightening mode, and we're going to test the tightening force on this. So we're going to tighten each one of these fasteners. These are 34 millimeter fasteners, and they should be good up to about 500 foot-pounds. So we're going to use the XTREME 12V Brushless DCF901 impact wrench to tighten these for 5 seconds each, and then we're going to come back with our torque wrench and get a reading on what it takes to get them off. Now our battery is fully charged, and we're going to use the 5 amp hour for the tightening. So let's get started. By the way, each one of these fasteners have been backed off 2 complete turns. Okay, I'm just curious, after 7 of those fasteners, yeah, we've still got a full charge on the battery. Okay, now we're going to use our torque wrench to break these free. Yeah, it maxed out the torque wrench at 250 foot-pounds. That one was 219.1. $205.2. $226.7. $185.6. $223.3. Maxing that one out too, so we'll call it 250. Okay, so that gave us 250 on the first one, 219.1, 205.2, 226.7, 185.6, 223.3, and 250. So two of them, it maxed out the torque wrench. One of them was a little low at 185.6. That gave us an average of 222.8 of what it took to break those free. Now we know it takes less force to break something free as it does to tighten it. We divide by 0.8 and we get an average of 278.6 foot-pounds of tightening force. So I think that we're actually hitting over that torque spec for the tightening. So great job on that for a 12-volt tool. All right, now we're going to roll on to the loosening side, or the breakaway testing. I'm going to swap out the 5 amp hour and we're going to put on the 3 amp hour battery. Now we're going to see how far this will take us, and then we'll swap out to the 5 amp hour. We're going to start at 100 foot-pounds and do 100, 150, 200, 250, 300, 350, and 400 foot-pounds. Here we go to 100 foot-pounds. So 103.4. Now we can start with our high torque gun, because the lowest setting it has is 150 foot-pounds. So we're going to drop that down to 150 and start from there. Okay, DCF901, 3 amp hour battery, full charge, in reverse, 100 foot-pounds, 150, 200, 250, 300, 350, yep, it got it. 400 foot-pounds. Now this is the max output, what they rank it at. Okay, I think it's starting to break free. I'm going to go ahead and throw the 5 amp hour on there. Okay, so 400 foot-pounds. The 3 amp hour definitely did 350. It was struggling on 400 and it started to move and then it stopped, and after 10 or 15 seconds or 13 seconds or so, I just went ahead and swapped out the battery. So we're at 400, but we're going to give 350 to the 3 amp hour battery. And now let's go on from here. We're going to tighten this one up right here to 450 foot-pounds and see what we can do from there. So we went 450 and then 500 foot-pounds. 5 amp hour battery, still a full charge. So let's go at 450. I don't believe it's moving. There's a yellow mark around here so you can see that. Okay, so we got 450. Now here we are at 500 foot-pounds. So it hasn't budged. I looked at a mark right there and that mark right there. So after 10 seconds, it is not budged. So we're going to give it 450. Can't give it 500, but still remarkable from a 12-volt tool that we're getting 450 foot-pounds of breakaway force. Very impressive numbers, both on the tightening side and the loosening side. On the loosening side, we hit just above their numbers they claim at 400 foot-pounds. So our 3 amp hour, I think we broke free 350 foot-pounds. And then with the 5 amp hour, we broke free 450 foot-pounds. Couldn't break free the 500, but still, that's over what they're claiming of the 400 foot-pounds. On the tightening side, we showed that with our numbers, we were over the 250 of max tightening torque that they claim. So we were at like 276. So great job on that, DeWalt. We love the rubber feet on the battery, or the rubber oil resistant bottom it has, and both protecting it from impacts as well as that oil resistance. So on both the 3 amp hour and the 5 amp hour batteries, we love to see that coming to a mechanic specific tool, if you will. So little small compact tool, but still delivering quite a punch. So love the fact that this is one of those tools you can probably carry around for most of the day and then go to your high torque when you need to. Now pricing on this guy, you're looking at $149 as a bare tool. So the DCF901B bare tool is going to run you $149, and that's going to give you a 3-year warranty. Now you add to it the 5 amp hour and the 3 amp hour battery, as well as a charger and the beautiful bag. That's going to bump the price up to $329 and still a 3-year warranty. Now the model number on that is the DCF901 GJ1G. Yes, the GJ1G. I think I got that right. Anyway, I'll have it on the screen. So really nice tool. Do you want to pay $300+ for the kit? That's getting pretty steep, but at the same time, you're getting 2 batteries and a tool bag, and you're getting those, impact resistant, oil resistant batteries with that. So that's a big jump. And by the way, if you're going to be investing in the extreme side of the 12-volt tools, I would definitely buy a kit that has a 5 amp hour battery in it, like this has. And again, you're getting that impact resistance as well. So check it out for yourselves. Also keep track of us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. If you don't mind, would you hit that like and subscribe button? But only if you liked our video. By all means, if you hated our video, you know the drill, give us a thumbs down. But would you let us know in the comments why? Have a great day and keep smiling.